Often in our lives, we're afraid to do things by ourselves. We feel a deep need to know that someone is going to be walking alongside us, either holding our hand, leading us forward, sharing the experience with us, or is quite simply just going to exist so we know we're not alone. In 2022, I reached a low point in my life. So I decided to go to Europe, for the first time, all by myself. To some people this may not seem like that big a deal, but it kind of is because I live in New Zealand, which is 37 hours worth of travel time away, and is quite literally on the other side of the world. And to add to that, I didn't know a single person in the entire continent. All I had was a rough plan, my accommodation mostly booked, and what most people would probably call a good deal of courage or bravery. I spent 6 weeks in France, which is what you're going to see in this video, and then 6 weeks in Italy, which is a video I'm going to be releasing next week. There's so much to experience, and I do feel like I only saw a little bit of France and what the rest of Europe has to offer on the trip. However, I did everything from hiking 110 miles around Mont Blanc, to going to the Dior Museum in Paris, to swimming in the south of France, to going on dinner dates with complete strangers, to not leaving my Airbnb for 2 days when I got a little bit sick and burnt out. Overall, the trip was fantastic, and there are so many memories that I couldn't even count them. Within this video, I hope you find something that inspires you to go travel, whether that's by yourself, completely solo, whether it's with one other person, or if it's with a whole group of friends. And just on the little side note, to never ever be afraid of anything, because nothing went wrong on this trip whatsoever, and I planned it all 2 weeks beforehand, so it can't be that bad, and if I can do it, I'm sure you can too. Without further ado, this is my 6 weeks in France, from Chamonix to Annecy to Lyon to Paris to Marseille to Nice, Monaco, and back to Nice again. All my love, and I hope you enjoy. Everything looks like this, which is a shambles. So that's my packing stuff over here, and that's all I have to do today. So I'm from New Zealand. Essentially I'm here in Les Houches now to do the Tour de Mont Blanc, which I'm starting tomorrow. I had a very long journey to get here, 3 flights, roughly 36 hours in total, and then waiting for my bus to bring me out here and getting out here on a bus and then taking another bus back from Chamonix to get here. I ended up around 40 hours travel time total, which is pretty insane. Once I finish the Tour du Mont Blanc, I'm heading around France and Italy for just under 3 months, which is pretty exciting. So I've always loved making videos and said I was going to start a YouTube channel, and I did kind of at the start of the year, but to me this trip is a really good opportunity to document it, A, for myself and hopefully for anyone else who is wanting to travel. I'm 20 and I'm travelling by myself to a country, to 3 countries, plus 1 or 2 more if you add in the airport changeovers, that I've never been to before and I don't know anyone in. I know no one in this whole continent. And just to kind of say that it can be done, and be brave and don't get overwhelmed and enjoy. I've always said that you should never not do something because you don't have someone else to do it with. So, well, I'm making sure I maintain my own beliefs right now. Let's enjoy it. So hi, I'm back. I've finished the Tour du Mont Blanc and I'm currently at a different Airbnb in Les Houches. Oh my gosh, Tour du Mont Blanc was amazing. I did it in 9 days and there's going to be a whole separate video on it. I'm just resting up because 170k, I took a bunch of the variant routes over I think like 10,750 meters of ascent and about 10,070 meters of descent. Crazy to think about at any rate. So today is my first day off because on the last night it was thunderstorms and it was really scary and I decided I'd give it a big push and finish early. So today I'm just resting up and I'm going to be doing that the next few days as well. I'm probably going to go into Chamonix one day because I haven't actually really been there except for 5 minutes on my bus changeover. But I'm pretty tired, but I mean still excited to be here. I'm a little weirded out because when you go on a big hike, especially, you know, all you're doing for 9 days straight is just walking, and then you stop, everything feels wrong. It's like, I should be walking right now, but I don't want to walk. I need to rest. I need to do nothing to just let my body recover. Even though I think I honestly feel fine, but I feel like if I went for a walk, I'd be like, oh my god, everything hurts. I only took 1 step, and yesterday I did 60 or 70 or 80,000 steps, but I don't even know what day of the week it is today. Yeah, that's all. Because I finished the Tour du Mont Blanc earlier than I expected, I had a couple of extra days in Les Houches to spend time exploring and head into Chamonix where I hadn't actually been before. Originally I wasn't going to go up the mountain to, I believe it's pronounced Aiguille du Midi, but after doing the Tour du Mont Blanc it was still worthwhile heading up to the top of that mountain. It was absolutely insane and so beautiful. A fun fact is that technically where the cable car goes up to is higher than New Zealand's highest mountain, so I've been higher than anywhere you can go in New Zealand, which I think is pretty cool. From Les Houches I headed through to Annecy and I had to catch 3 different trains to get there, but luckily it was reasonably straightforward.
My Airbnb wouldn't let me in until 5 p.m, so I sat in the park and edited my Tour du Mont Blanc video for quite a few hours. I went to the grocery store and then made myself some gnocchi for dinner, which was actually really delicious. And then I went for a little walk around the waterfront and came across a dance studio set up by the waterfront with all these beautiful old couples dancing, which I just thought was so magical. I woke up the next morning with the intention of just exploring the city, heading into some of the shops, the old churches, and just looking around the streets. I'm just continually blown away by the beauty of this town, and it's so stunning. I genuinely could walk 100 meters down the street from where I was staying and come across a beautiful church or a lovely little canal or a beautiful little garden forest that just seemed to exist around every corner. I went to the famous little castle in the canal or whatever it's supposed to be called by accident and was really excited.
Everyone was getting in.
I decided to hire a bike and ride around the whole lake, which took around 3 hours with a lunch stop. It was wonderful to see all the paragliders as I was biking around and the number of people who were out and about as well.
No, I don't know where the money goes. Just as the river flows down the road, you don't owe them anything.
I spent the afternoon exploring the streets again because I hadn't made it around half of the old town. I basically spent my first afternoon in Lyon walking around the city, just in the central area. It was so beautiful, even when I was just randomly picking directions to go. I met up for chocolate fondue with a girl I met in one of the Facebook groups online for solo travellers, and it was lots of fun. I don't know what's up with me, yeah, but it's boof. The next morning I headed to Parc de la Tête d'Or, and it was so cool. There was way more there than I expected. There was genuinely all these beautiful botanical gardens and a zoo that was free to enter. I'd been recommended to try find some of the Chapelle, which is like a passage between houses. I can't really explain it, but it was really cool to walk through. Also, I'm really proud of this shot because that's handheld and unstabilized. Next, I visited a cathedral which just happened to be on my route. Then I headed up the hill to the Fête gallo-romaine de Lyon Museum. Nearby was the La Basilique Notre Dame de Fourvière. It was definitely my favourite church that I'd visited so far, although I know there will be many more to come. On my way back, I stopped at the Jardin de Curiosité, which has some of the best views of Lyon, and got myself an ice cream from Nardone before finishing the day. I started next morning at the Musée des Beaux-Arts de Lyon, and it was really beautiful. There were lots of stunning paintings and sculptures. From there, I headed through to Musée Cinéma et Miniature, which is a museum that has a whole bunch of props and stuff from films, and I may or may not have cried when I saw the camera that had been used for the 10 Commandments in Vertigo, because why wouldn't I? They had so many cool things there though, and they also had a whole bunch of miniature installments of things which I found really fascinating to look at. So I had some little sweet pastry thing that I don't actually know what it was called, but it was delicious. And then I headed to Hotel de Ville de Lyon, which is actually kind of the city town hall. And it usually isn't open to the public, but because it was a special holiday, it was open to the public.
Lyon is so beautiful. When I first came here, I feel like I had no clue what to expect. The only thing I really knew about the city was that it was really involved in a lot of cinema history, and that it had the same population as Auckland in New Zealand. And to me, I was a bit worried because I hate Auckland. It's like dreadful, it's too big and it feels horrible and it just goes on and on and on. And like, Lyon's a little bit similar in the sense that it's quite expansive, but it doesn't feel really large and it doesn't feel in your face. It's just super green and you get a bike everywhere, which I think is fantastic, and it's simply stunning. Like, it's a very beautiful city and there's lots of people around, but it's not overwhelming, so it's definitely, I don't know exactly what I expected, but it's definitely not what I expected, but in a really good way, which I think is the best thing ever. And I think it's also a place that I would like to go back to now, to be quite honest. Like, I would definitely come back to Lyon in future and live there for an extended period of time, because it just seems to have a really nice atmosphere. Like, you know how some cities just have a certain feel about them? Maybe it was just the specific areas I was in, because, you know, different, like arrondissements in Paris, for example, feel very different to, say, Paris as a whole. Like, the 9th is very different to the 2nd or something like that, and maybe it's a little similar in Lyon, but I'm staying in, like, an area called Villebon, I think, and, you know, that's not the same as being in the centre of Lyon, but I feel like also being in the centre would actually be really cool, so I think I need to come back. Setting myself up for the future.
On my last day in Lyon, I went to Institut Lumière, which is a museum dedicated to the history of film and the Lumière family / brothers, and it was absolutely incredible. They had done so much in relation to photography as well, and production of cameras, that I had never realised. It was so fascinating looking at not just the origins of cinema, but some of the commercial aspects of it as well, where they showed the first film to audiences and how they showed films all over the world and sent people out to do that. I'm now also mildly obsessed with the film photos they took. Unfortunately, the format doesn't exist anymore, but the colours and the imagery was so stunning that I was in awe. And I went to the location where the first ever official film was shot. Building is still there and it was spectacular and I cried. And afterwards I went across the road to a photography exhibition called Glasgow, which is by a French photographer, and it's obviously a bunch of photos of Glasgow from the 1980s. And I had an omelette for dinner, and that is about where my life finishes in Lyon.
Nous aimions le temps d'une chambre.
The plan for today is to go directly to Shakespeare and Company, which is like a 3k walk away, but who cares. And then I'm just going to go thrifting in the Le Marais. And then I'm going out for dinner tonight with a girl I met in the Facebook group, one of the solo female travelling ones. So that should be exciting.
Vous déplaise en dansant la javanaise. Nous aimions le temps d'une chanson.
Just travelling things. That's not garlic. Of course it's not. Why would it be garlic? So now everything smells of garlic. I'm in pain.
I think the garlic situation has mostly been fixed, but everything is also probably going to smell like garlic for the rest of the trip.
Yeah, just like, I don't know, smash it.
She's sparkling!
J'essaie tellement de pratiquer mon français, mais le français passant à l'anglais, à la seconde où you like give away that you speak English. It's so not fun.
So here's the bag. This is the first thing I did when I got to Paris.
At the moment, I'm trying to work out where I want to go in terms of all the museums and then outside of that as well, just because I don't want to miss anything and I want to make good use of my museum pass. Because I'm still under 26 but I'm not an EU citizen, I don't get free entry to the museums, so citizenship comes in handy.
It's kind of looking like this, but I do not know if it will look like this at all.
Hélas, avril en vain me voue à l'amour. J'avais envie de voir en vous cet amour. Ne vous déplaise en dansant la javanaise. Nous aimions le temps d'une chanson. La vie ne vaut d'être vécue sans amour. Mais c'est vous qui l'avez voulu, mon amour. Ne vous déplaise en dansant la javanaise. Nous aimions le temps d'une chanson.
Apparently the this needed to be kept in the fridge and I didn't know. Splat. Hopefully it still tastes good. We're trying one of the macarons, the fancy ones. I don't know what flavour this is, but let's see if it's good. Whoa. Okay, that's good. That is good. I think the onions in France are worse somehow. No, I can't do that.
from Versailles and it was incredible, but by the end of the day I was exhausted. So I think it's important when you're traveling to sometimes realize that even though you want to go out and spend all your time doing things, there comes a point at which you are just a bit tired and you need to take a bit of time to rest.
Having some burrata salad and bread for dinner.
Welcome to the very last of my Paris diaries. This video is a complication of my last few days, and even after spending 2 weeks in Paris, it's still a place I don't feel like I got to fully explore. Both the good and the bad things that everyone tells you about Paris are most certainly true, but that doesn't stop the city from being a magical experience to someone visiting for the first time, or even the second, third, fourth, or fifth. Maybe the crowded trains and cigarettes on the sides of the street dull the magic a little, but I suppose it's all about perspective. Everyone has a different experience in Paris, and unfortunately I didn't quite have the romantic love story I may have been hoping for. But sometimes your experience of a place isn't about what you see with your eyes, but what the place actually helps you see within yourself.
Effaré, je résonne un baiser dans mon esprit tout divague, je me perds dans tes yeux, je me noie dans la vague de ton regard amoureux, je ne veux que ton âme, divagant sur ma peau, une fleur, une femme dans ton cœur Roméo, je ne suis que ton nom, le souffle lancinant de nos corps dans le sombre animé lentement.
I spent 2 whole weeks in Paris before remembering that the Dior gallery existed and was something that I could visit, so I headed there on my second to last day. Honestly, it was spectacular, and I have a much greater appreciation for Dior. There were so many beautiful dresses on display, and I loved the way that each of them was staged and given their own special attention. disappeared from the sky, and I made myself some potato gnocchi for dinner before heading to bed for an early night. When I woke up the next morning, there were hints of colour in the sky, and I was so excited to explore a new city, or perhaps town might be more apt. I had a little walk up the hill from near where I was staying to Notre de la Garde, which, other than being an amazing church, also has panoramic views over Marseille and up and down the coast. It was absolutely incredible. The weather was also beautiful, and even though it was a bit crowded, I managed to find some of the quiet spots.
There's no one here. It's wonderful. It's so quiet. It's not like the church. It's nice. It's quiet and peaceful and French.
She's nice, yeah? She's peeping. Hi. Say hello to her. Yeah, she's not talking. She's English. I don't know. She's Spanish. Maybe. I don't know. Do you want to speak to her? It's hard to see your face because it's the sun in it.
I'm trying to paint at the moment out of my film canister water holder with these horrible colours and a single brush, but
This is fun because I haven't painted in 2 years, maybe a tad longer. And these are horrible paints and not a great brush, but... Well, a start has been made. I'm about to go to the farmers market. There's one on today, and I was originally planning to go to the beach, but it's raining outside, so I'm taking a rain jacket with me, but hopefully I'll be okay. But it's not really beach weather anymore. Like, it was really warm yesterday, and now just today it's raining. Actually, going and swimming in the ocean in the rain can actually be quite satisfying. Maybe I should still go. Okay, I'm thinking about it now. So this evening I'm meeting up with another girl from one of the Facebook groups who messaged me a few days ago, and I'm very excited. We're going to a place nearby, so... I do that, which is real life.
As you might be able to tell by the sound of my voice, I have a bit of a cold at the moment, so I'm not feeling super great. And it's not COVID because I can taste, and I've had COVID, I know what it's like, so this ain't it. It's just like a nice wee fun travelling cold. But I had an awesome dinner with Christina last night. It was cool. The place we went to was epic as well. And today, if I can bring myself to feel up to it, I'm going to walk along the waterfront and then go to a market that is in kind of the old town area of Nice. And then there's also meant to be just really cool buildings around there, and my mum actually recommended me an ice cream place there that's apparently really good on Google. I'm doing my washing at the moment because my clothes smell. I need to go get some groceries as well because I went to, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, Lidl, L-I-D-L, the German chain that's super cheap here at any rate. And it was just so crowded and the queues were so long, so I'm just gonna go another day. So I need to pick up a couple of groceries, but I might end up doing that at the market instead, so we'll see.
Look at this. A kg of cherry tomatoes. Wow. Look at this. I might cut it into 2 or 3 pieces, but oh my god, wow. Look at the inside. Oh my god. Delicious. In case you couldn't tell by how red I am, I just went for a run and it was hot. Real hot, 'cause it's like 4:30. I'm going to stretch and then maybe I'll just go straight to the beach because the whole time I was running by the beach I was like, I want to go for a swim, I want to go for a swim, I want to go for a swim.